Saints went through the hiring process, through the interview process, and ultimately hired the in-house guy. Good move or lazy move?
It's boring. It's boring. It's a boring hire. Promoting your defensive coordinator to head coach is a boring hire. But
let me interject for just a second. Like very briefly. College football seems hugely about winning the press conference. That seems much less so in the NFL.
Couldn't care less.
Sorry, go ahead.
Mickey Loomis couldn't care less about that. But his defenses aren't boring. They're dominant on an annual basis. Look at what he's done the last couple of years specifically to Tom Brady's Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, he has put together excellent defenses lately, and clearly the team values or the organization values some continuity, and he brings that. So there's familiarity with the organization, the front office, the scouting. He has coached incredibly good defenses, and maybe that's enough for them. It's very boring, but I kind of feel like boring isn't the worst thing, especially considering what his position group or his side of the ball has done under his leadership the last few years, which has been flat out dominant.
No questioning any of that. At the same time, and maybe this is just a personal thing for me, I always like an offensive head coach, especially with the Saints. I feel like offense is so important to their identity, and I feel like there's so many questions right now on that side of the ball with what you're going to do at the quarterback position going forward. Are you going to draft a quarterback this year? I would have rather the head man have been an offensive guy, but Dennis Allen is certainly a worthy candidate for the Saints. But now I got to see, does Pete Carmichael stay as the offensive coordinator, or do they go another way with that?
Who all did they interview? Eric Bieniemy, what, a marathon interview yesterday or the day before?
Yeah, so Allen, Bieniemy,
Aaron Glenn,
Brian Flores.
They interviewed Flores the day before the story broke, and he told them the story was going to break. So my guess is that just disqualified him right off the bat.
Doug Marrone.
Did Byron Leftwich interview?
Doug Peterson interviewed. Leftwich did.
That's
not
what I mean, Peterson, not Marrone.
Yeah, or Leftwich did not interview with the Saints.
Is Leftwich going to get a job this cycle, or are they all dried up now? We got anything left?
We're done. We're out. Yeah.
This is it.
Unless the Rams just get really mad at Sean McVay if he loses on Sunday.
Wouldn't really anticipate that being the case, would you?
You never know.
No, that's not going to happen. But yeah,
tell me what the layers are to this story.
Are there layers? Because I think it's pretty straightforward. This is one of those sports stories it's blatantly obvious why they made this decision. It's they valued continuity. He's been on staff for a while, and since he's been on staff, they have dramatically improved their standing defensively. The team is familiar with him, apparently likes him a whole lot. And it's really that, to me, that's really that simple. They like the culture that has been built there. I mean, you hear former players talk all the time about their favorite stop in terms of player relationship was New Orleans because they built a culture that the players really loved playing in. And who has been a big part of that culture for the last, I can't do math, 6.5 years? Well, it's Dennis Allen. And when you pair great coaching ability with continuity, 1 + 1 = 2 sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't think it's any deeper than that. I mean, I'm sure he's had to sell them on an offensive image. I don't know if Carmichael's that guy. If he sticks with Pete Carmichael, then that is absolutely the vision that they sold Mickey Loomis and Gail Benson on, was it's going to be the same. Sean's just not here. But everything else is the same.
But that doesn't always work, Doesn't always work. Like sometimes the culture is the guy who left.
Yeah,
he's the guy who drove the wagon.
I mean, Sean Payton has the reputation for being one of the greatest offensive minds in the NFL, right?
Yeah.
No doubt.
So just because you had his offensive coordinator stay on board doesn't mean that it's the same. I mean, if you were able to sell a guy like Mickey Loomis on that idea, then good on you. Congratulations. That's fantastic.
I will be disappointed if he just sticks with Pete and they just go that route. I am hoping that he's got a vision for the offense that is not an offensive coordinator that has not called plays for as many years as he has not called plays.
Let me ask you this. I don't know why. I think I'm so fascinated with him because of his playing days and kind of my lasting images. Could you go get a Byron Leftwich, pull him away from Tampa now that Tom Brady's gone and you're not calling plays for the greatest of all time?
Possibly.
And maybe bring somebody like that to New Orleans to be the offensive coordinator, knowing that in a year or two he's going to get a head coaching job?
It's certainly worth your time.
Is that an offensive coordinator hire that would excite you guys?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a head coaching hire that would have excited me. So, yeah, for sure.
I mean, and you look at his time before Brady, Jameis wasn't a slouch either. Now, he threw 30 picks.
Well, if he had LASIK, I mean, he might have only thrown 27 interceptions.
That was an incredibly explosive offense that he was a part of back then.
Hey, Dad. Well, I got an eye roll out of that? Come on, man.
Come on, man. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's
So since 2017, they only give up 20 points per game, 329 yards per game, only 250 yards passing per game, and average 3 sacks per game. That has been Dennis Allen's defense since he's taken over. It's been dominant.
It's overused a lot of times, but this is a true start of a new era for the New Orleans Saints. You know, the era it wasn't just Peyton either. It was the Breeze-Peyton era. Now Breeze is gone, and now Peyton is gone, and now, you know, it's a new day moving forward for the Saints. So we'll see.
And the part of the era that hasn't moved on is Mickey Loomis.
Mm-hmm.
And I know for a fact that you guys believe he is as good at his job as anybody in that position in the NFL. He better be.
Navigating the cap, especially. The last few drafts haven't been really great. Now, Davenport's working out if he can stay healthy, but still kind of the cap is on the 2017 draft that got them Ramczyk and Kamara and on and on and on. But in terms of navigating the cap, he's a magician. He's just an outright magician.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you've known me for 7 years. Every offseason, what's the conversation?
Saints have got cap issues.
They're in cap hell. Oh, it's just terrible. And then yet, they still have playoff caliber teams on an annual basis.
So Dennis Allen, not the only new head coach